Good evening, I'm Keisha Butts with a CTV News update. The heat wave continues as the D.C. region is hit with another scorcher of a day. Temperatures are expected to reach into the low 90s again today, with scattered thunderstorms in the late afternoon and early evening. We asked shoppers at a Costco in Beltsville how they're coping with the hot weather.
I don't go out that much, and I basically just stay in. That's the easiest way, because it's just too hot. And even staying hydrated is not enough.
Is it tougher with the face mask?
It is. I don't really like it, but it has to because I perspire so. I guess as you get older, just the perspiration just comes more. But I don't stay out as long, so it's okay.
We're mostly staying inside unless we really have to get out, okay? And this last week has been pretty hard. But
has it been tougher with the face mask?
It's a little tougher with the face mask, but I'd rather put up with it than not.
I only come out when I have to, and I'm retired, so I don't have to come out every day. So the face masks don't bother me.
Staying in the house.
Drinking plenty of water. Drinking plenty of water and staying in cool places. You must hydrate. This is the most important thing about being in hot weather, because see, this is when you can become heat exhausted and cause heat strokes. So you want to drink water and try to stay in cool places when you don't have to be out.
Tomorrow's weather is expected to be a repeat of today. COVID cases are trending up in Maryland. The state health department today reports 860 new cases and 20 deaths were reported over the last 24 hours. The state has recorded approximately 80,000 COVID cases since the pandemic began. Local health officers call on the state to pause business reopenings. Katara Jones has the details.
Health officials from several counties, including Prince George's, are calling on the state to limit reopening of restaurants and bars. This comes as Maryland continues to see a spike in coronavirus cases. They sent a letter to Maryland Health Department on Monday asking the state to, quote, revisit activities allowed under the current Phase 2 executive orders. State Senator Doug Peters had this to say.
Well, the Senate has formed a small business task force, and we've been getting reports once every 2 weeks from the Restaurant Association. A lot of the restaurants are hanging on by a thread. In fact, the last report we got was that 25% of the restaurants are probably going to be closed permanently. And of course, those other 75 are just making it happen with the outdoor seating and the 50% indoor occupancy. So whatever we do, we've really got to balance people's life's work and their livelihood with the restrictions. I'm all for as much safety as we can put in place, but you're also talking about people who are going to end up losing their business, losing their homes, and becoming unemployed. So we got to find that delicate balance.
Health officials have confirmed more than 3,200 COVID-19 deaths in Maryland. Reporting in Bowie, Katara Jones, CTV News.
4 murders in 3 days. The latest occurred yesterday afternoon in Hyattsville. Police were called to an apartment complex at the 5300 block of Hamilton Street around 3:30 p.m. A man was found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at a local hospital. In separate incidents, 3 people were shot and killed in the county over the weekend. Ongoing police protests in Portland, Oregon prompted the White House to send in federal police. The move has sparked controversy in Portland, Oregon, and on Capitol Hill. Just yesterday, the president pledged to send forces to other cities, including Baltimore. In response, Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen has joined Oregon lawmakers in sponsoring a new bill. That measure would limit federal police activities to government properties only and restrict arrest powers. The county's police reform work group is meeting this week, and you're invited to take part. This Thursday, July 23rd, the group is holding a listening session for the public. In wake of national protests over police brutality, the panel is reviewing local hiring, training, and use of force policies. To participate, you must sign up. For more information, visit princegeorgesmd.gov and search for Police Reform Listening Session. There's a new Children's National Hospital in Prince George's County. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this morning at the new site located at Woodmore Town Center. State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy, Councilmember Jolene Ivey, and State Senator Joanne Benson were in attendance. This facility has an ambulatory surgery center. It also has several services from cardiology to clinical nutrition.
This center is all about access and providing the top quality care closer to home. So when you think about it, Children's National ranked in the top 10 U.S. News and World Report.
We stand here today with this beautiful facility, this beautiful site, and now we can actually serve one of our most vulnerable populations, and that's our children.
The new location opens tomorrow. Local courts are gradually reopening to the public. Some court services are available by appointment only, but most proceedings are being held online. Meantime, if a debt collector case has been filed against you, don't ignore it. That's from Maryland General Attorney Brian Frosch. He says if you need assistance, call the court's self-help center at 410-260-1392. As Americans grapple with being isolated from their loved ones, the Maryland Department of Health launches a new text-based initiative. It's called MD Mind Health. The goal is to encourage residents to stay connected. Enrollees will be sent positive texts and helpful messages about mental health resources. Officials say during the pandemic, calls to the state's crisis center have gone up.
The platform is designed for a general public use. So you don't have to have any behavioral health condition, or you could have an identified behavioral health condition. I think that it works really well for anyone who has an identified or unidentified issue. However, it will also remind you to connect to other platforms to get more specific supports. And so it will remind you to connect to 211 Press 1 directly, where you can chat about or text about a specific challenge or problem that you might be having, and or you can pick up the phone and you can call the 211 Press 1, and there's always a live body on the other end who will be there to receive you and to address whatever specific concerns that you have. But you can also get your specific concerns addressed through the chatting or texting, but you'd have to, again, text to 211 Press 1, and you can have an interchange with the live body.
To enroll in the program, text 898-211. Officials say if you are in need of immediate assistance, contact Maryland's crisis hotline at 211. The Bowie Business Innovation Center receives a special award. The International Business Innovation Association honored the Bowie location as this year's most innovative entrepreneurship center. Located on the campus of Bowie State University, it was honored for its 8A Accelerator program, which helps women, veteran, and minority-owned technology and government contractors. These are pictures from some of the past cohorts. Lisa Smith is the executive director.
It was really more than an award. It was really an acknowledgement, too, that this collaboration that we put together with the Small Business Administration and corporate sponsors like Capital One and Flair Maza and EasyGovOps, that all was going to mean something. And, you know, the 32 companies who've been through our first year of cohort have generated over $12 million in new contracts. And that was the whole point.
Smith says there will be another cohort for the Accelerator program in the fall. For more information, visit bowiebic.com. Are your kids looking for an outdoor adventure at home in the backyard? How about a small group nature camp where environmental science meets good old-fashioned fun? Patricia Vallone takes a look at how one summer camp is reinventing itself during this pandemic.
And we get kids outside. They're catching frogs in the pond, climbing trees.
Nora Kelly is talking about Camp Audubon. We visited the camp last summer, which sits on a 40-acre nature sanctuary in Chevy Chase, run by the Audubon Naturalist Society. But the pandemic has forced the program to reinvent itself.
We've really had to think outside the box and do a lot of virtual programs and figure out how to effectively connect with kids and adults through a screen. And then how can we still encourage them to get outdoors and connect with nature on their own without us to teach them.
Avi Klein is one of the participants in the camp.
So I think it's working out really well because sort of when she spoke about catching frogs, I happen to have a pond personally, so I also can catch frogs.
For the first month of our summer, we've done virtual programs, which are what Avi has participated in. He took some great photos of the frogs that are in his his pond at home. It was hard to get parents to kind of buy into additional screen time in the beginning. But once we showed that while we were going to be on screens with their children for an hour or two each day, we were also going to be providing additional prompts and activities the kids could do outside.
This week, the organization began small in-person camps, which all take place outdoors.
This has obviously been tough for you during the pandemic. You've been doing probably schoolwork and everything online. How do you transition? You obviously during this warm weather want to be outdoors.
I think it was like really good to be able to satisfy like a need to have a little bit of technology in my life, but also be able to have, as she said, get prompts to get outside.
We need to teach them how to appreciate nature, how to love nature, because if you don't love something, you're not going to take care of it and you're not going to care about it.
Patricia Vallone, CTV News.
For more information on Camp Audubon, log on to anshome.org. An organization that was founded by and for jazz musicians continues with its mission despite the pandemic. Byron Scott has our story.
The Jazz Bridge is an arts service organization that provides assistance to jazz musicians in crisis.
Primarily, it's gap funding. So if a person needs money for their rent, they need money for health care, they need money, mortgage, they need car repairs, we come in and help them.
Joseph Lewis was recently named the executive director of the Philadelphia-based not-for-profit organization. One of the ways they raise funds is through a series of concerts that run from the fall through spring. But then this year, the coronavirus arrived.
By mid-March, we had to stop because of the coronavirus pandemic. So,
despite that reality, Lewis says they are still able to help musicians in need.
Even though it cut our revenue last year by 30%, we're still helping people out. We're still helping them because again, we provide gap funding, so we have enough money now, but we're getting donations from people. We have some grants out there that we're hoping to get.
As for the future, Lewis says it will be some time before things get back to normal. In the meantime, the Jazz Bridge is looking for other avenues for the concerts that help it maintain its mission.
What we're planning now for this October is we're doing all the research on doing virtual concerts online.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
And that wraps up our CTV News update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Have a good night.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
Scrolling all day, time can disappear. Wanna make it count, why not volunteer?
Posting pics of your food, that takes up time. Time, you've got time to binge all of season 9, though it got so bad.
Time, you got time. We're gonna grow back and be the same browse you had.
Just a few hours to keep families from harm. Help us end home fires, but sound the alarm.
Volunteer for a day to install free smoke alarms in your community.